So Proto-Pasta came out with this. It's their Everyday PLA. And you're wondering, is it any good or not? Well, I'll give you my opinions on it, and at the end, I'll show you how you guys could win your own spool of 1.75 Proto-Pasta Everyday PLA. So as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Proto-Pasta filaments, partly because of the fact that they've come out with some really unique materials, and also the guys behind it are awesome, and I really love their products. That said, when they finally came out with this, the Everyday just straight up PLA, I was thrilled. My biggest complaint in the 3D printing side of things is the fact that it seems like a lot of companies are coming out with really cool specialty filaments, but nobody's, at least to some extent in my opinion, kind of just focused on, hi, here's a low cost, budget friendly, quality filament that works great for if you got to run multiple iterations of a prototype, or you just don't have the budget to spend 50-60 bucks on a spool of filament. Now, I am by no means complaining about the expensive filaments, as those are very nice and they have certain properties that others don't, but you know, anytime you can save a little bit of money for projects like the Thing-O-Matic or things like that, you know, might as well do it. If memory serves me right, as of the time of filming, a 500 gram spool runs you less than 20 bucks. Now I know some of you guys are saying, well, I can just jump on eBay and get some stuff for cheap, and that's cool, but the problem is you don't exactly know the quality of the filament, and while some of the lower cost filaments out there have gotten better, I'm still a little bit iffy about using them, just because I have had some pretty nasty experiences with them. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit scarred from that, but then again, I like to support the companies that make the quality product, because I feel like there are a lot of other companies just making rubbish product that don't care, and the ones making the good stuff kind of get trampled underneath because of that. But I digress. A couple of things to keep in mind with this. One, it comes on the cardboard spool. Nothing wrong with this except for the fact that it can be a little bit hard to maintain the filament and keep it from unspooling, as I found little clips don't exactly work on cardboard. That said, I just took a screwdriver and punched a hole in the cardboard and fed the filament through. Works absolutely great. And when you're done, the other thing I love about the cardboard spools, chuck them in the recycling bin. They go off to wherever they go off to, and hopefully get turned into more cardboard spools or other cool products. One other thing that I noticed that's not a bad thing about this filament is the fact that it likes a slightly higher melting point. I find this actually likes running around 220 to 230 degrees Celsius, while I find the color fab that I run likes more around 210, 220. This isn't a bad thing at all, and I found that this stuff actually seems to have some pretty good heat resistance. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, don't use PLA for things outside or in the sun because it could soften, and that is totally true. That said, I made my whole GoPro Maker Faire rig from this stuff. Initially it's kind of like a, well, I need to get it done because Maker Faire is in 4 days and I have some spools of this and I know it's going to print, thinking that, oh, it's just going to last for the Maker Faire and probably going to sit in my sunny windowsill and melt on a hot San Francisco day, which does happen. And as time went on, it stayed together. I was amazed. It's survived living in my hot Honda, driving to and from Southern California, and just baking in there, as my poor car does not have functioning air conditioning. And it also survived a day at the beach. I mean, what more can I say? This is definitely not the same as their annealable high temperature PLAs, but if you're looking for something that prints nicely and doesn't cost a whole lot and has, I would say, slightly higher heat resistance than other PLAs that I've worked with, might be worth a shot. That being said, don't go leaving PLA things sitting in the sun and expecting them to always be in the condition that you found them in. PLA does soften at a lower temperature relative to other things, so just something to keep in mind. Also, eons ago, Alex over at Proto-Pasta made a boo-boo and sent me a roll of this 1.75 Everyday PLA. And I said, oh, hey, I accidentally got 1.75 instead of 3. And Alex goes, oops, I'll get you the 3 out. And I say, hey, what do you want me to do with the spool of 1.75? He goes, just hold on to it and give it away or something like that. So months and months and months and months and months later, I am finally doing the PLA giveaway. Now, sadly, due to international shipping costs being ridiculously high, this is going to be a USA only giveaway. I'll have a link in the description down below to where you can enter, but it is for a 1.75 spool of 500 grams of Proto-Pasta's Everyday PLA. So if you've always wanted to try it, it's free to enter. You never know, you might be the lucky one that wins. All I do ask is you enjoy this and get a lot of use out of it. I mean, you can actually print quite a lot with 500 grams of filament. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Make It with Calvin and found it interesting. If you do have questions about the filament, please leave comments down below and I will do my best to try and answer them. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I highly recommend you do, as I have some, hopefully, things you'll find interesting coming down the pipeline. Promise I've got some more thematic updates on the way and some other stuff you guys are probably going to really enjoy. So until then, I will see you guys next time on Make It with Calvin.